What's up? What's up? This is the JayDennis Podcast for Tuesday, May 10th, 2016, episode 11. I don't know why every time I'm about to say the date, I blank out. It's because Tuesday is not one of my days. Even though I like Tuesdays more now because I do the podcast, I usually don't have work or anything. It's just like my day off. But I actually elected to work today because I don't have any school this week. So I was like, hey boss, you need me to work any extra this week? I would like to. But they were like, oh, I wish you told me sooner. I could have given you more. So they only managed to give me one extra day. So I think this week I work Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then this Tuesday, of course, today, working in the morning. So I got up early, did all my morning ritual shit, listened to Bill Burr's Late Podcast, which came out last night at midnight, I think. So I listened to it this morning. I'll talk more about that later, the show that I went to. And here I am now, recording this bad boy at 8:57 a.m. Hopefully the dryer and the AC on in the background aren't causing too much noise. Let's have a listen. Nah, it's probably minor. I don't even see any sound waves coming up. But this is a sensitive microphone, but it looks like it's mostly just picking me up. But I'm sure you hear a little something. But anyway, so yeah, I'm opening today. I work at 10:45, but I'm recording this now. I'll upload it when I get home because it's just a morning shift. It's been kind of a funny morning. You know, I got up at 7:15. I cleaned up, said bye to my girlfriend because she's a substitute teacher right now. So, you know, she gets up. She picks up a shift every day, Monday through Friday. You know, gotta put litter in the litter box. Gotta make that money. Even though I buy it. Who the fuck wants to go to that Walmart and buy litter anyway? Oh my god, yeah. There's a reason I said that. It's the particular litter that I use for my cats. Oh man, I might as well get an endorsement for this. The particular litter that I use for my cats is only sold at Walmart. Not only is it super cheap, but it's also super effective. So it's like $4 for a bag, and it's like the crystal stuff. It's not that sand shit. It's like the actual good crystallized stuff that like eliminates odor and everything. It's the good stuff. It's called Mimi litter. If I have any hardcore cat fans out there, or cat owners, don't walk across the... Sorry, my cat's being really social this morning. He almost walked across my keyboard, which could have sent this whole podcast, which is already going so smooth, because I'm hyped up on caffeine. I feel like I haven't recorded one of these in a while, but it's every Tuesday. But yeah, so cat litter, get it from Walmart. I hate Walmart, but I have to buy it from there. It's right across the street. It's affordable. It's better. It's like the brand I swear by, which sucks that I have to shop there for it. But anyway, my name is JayDennis. This is the 11th episode of the JayDennis Podcast. I do one of these every Tuesday. That's the day of the week I decided to do this. I usually record them in the morning and then upload them around 5 o'clock. You know, after some editing and some video production or whatever. And I stick them all on my YouTube channel right now. I have a podcast playlist on my YouTube channel. My channel is JayDennis, JayDennis. And my whole channel is composed of different playlists. So all my weightlifting stuff, my Raptor Riot stuff, the podcast, it's all under separate playlists to keep it organized. I don't want to make a bunch of extra channels for all my extra projects or ambitions. So it's all under me. It's all in one place. So if you want to listen to the podcast, just go to the podcast playlist and you will see all of my episodes so far. And I will also be taking questions. If you have any questions about anything, about me, about my plans, any insights on life, personal problems, you want to know how to talk to women, I'm going to be 25 in less than 3 weeks. and I have a lot of life experience in some areas. There's still a lot of shit I'm ignorant on, so maybe some things where I'm going to be like, I can't really help you there. But I think for 24, I've lived a pretty fulfilling life, especially sneezing. Especially sneezing on a podcast. Excuse me. I really do not like my allergies. Never have. Never ever woken up and said, man, I'm so happy I have allergies. They just make me so charming and unawkward to be around. Nothing is worse than listening to a nasally voice. Especially if it's permanently nasally. They sound like they're drowning the entire time. Am I drowned? Yeah. There's this guy I work with, and there have been people in the past I've worked with, but especially this guy right now. Every time he talks, it just sounds like he's like gargling water. Like it just sounds like he's drowning when he's talking. Not like he's gasping for air, but it just sounds like overly nasally. And just, ugh. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. I'm trying to paint a good word picture for you here, but it irritates me. Hold on a sec. Okay, I'm back. But thanks to the beautiful technology of podcasting and it not being live radio, that was only just a fraction of a second for you, probably. You're probably like, he left? But yeah, if you have allergies, you should know, especially if you're, or if you're coming down with a cold, sometimes the best cure is gravity. Like, as soon as I stood up out of my chair, I just felt all the issues come on down, and then I took an allergy pill. So, still not feeling 100%, because that's just generally me. But I don't want to whine on this thing. But I also wear headphones when I podcast, so I kind of hear myself when I talk, so I'm like, oh, I gotta shift my voice a certain way. Or I could always just turn down the headphone volume. But sometimes I like to hear a little playback so that I have a vibe or just a feeling of how the volumes are. But then I watch the DAW, or the mixer, and I am nowhere near peaking. And if I have to raise my voice, I just scoot back like this. And yeah, still nowhere near peaking, but I'm all the way back here now. But yeah. So yeah, that's not what this podcast is all about, but I do a podcast every week. And if you could deal with my allergies and you want to send in questions, I appreciate you listening. Just send them on over to JayDennis21@gmail.com. I got the link, or the email address rather, in the description of the YouTube video. And as same deal with all my social media sites. Man, this is not... Actually, what I did differently this week was most weeks I actually type up, not my script, but my talking points, the things I want to talk about. And last week I didn't do one. I just kind of freestyled the whole thing. It's going to end up in the greatest hits collection. But this week I actually remembered to do it. So, like, I don't know. Out of my 11 episodes, I have 9 scripts printed out. For something to keep in front of me. Maybe 2 of them I didn't print one out. But yeah, it's the podcast transcripts. One day they're going to be worth money on eBay. Maybe if I sign them. But yeah, this is what happens when I'm not in school. Like, what am I doing with myself? So yeah, I have a week off from school. I took my finals last week, so that's another semester down. I should be graduating this fall. Granted, I take one summer class, which would start next week, and just give myself some relief from the fall. Because, I mean, I could take everything in the fall, but I would rather not overwhelm myself. Oh, excuse me. Jeez, just talking about school is making me tired. But yeah, for this summer class, I got to pay out of pocket. I was going to take 4 credit hours because one class is 3, the other one's like a module, not even a module, it's just a fucking 1 credit hour class. But there's 4 separate 1 credit hour classes you have to take if you're a business major. To me, it's a gigantic scam, but I'm on the last one. I wanted to get it out of the way, just do it this summer and not think about it during the fall. But taking both of those would have cost me $900 for tuition this summer. You know, before all the other bullshit you gotta pay for, like parking and textbooks and stuff. But you know what? I didn't buy any textbooks last semester, and I did just fine. You know? If you can avoid buying textbooks, don't buy them. But it's funny. Both of my professors said, you're more likely to get an A if you buy the textbook. And me and my girlfriend were just like, in the least generic way possible, we're just like, oh, so if you're rich, you're more likely to succeed. If you have wealth, if you were born into wealth, you're more likely to succeed. Equal opportunity, my ass. I think opportunity is opportunity for a reason, you know? Not everybody should have equal opportunity, but opportunity shouldn't be based on, you know, demographics or race or religion or, I mean, any of that stuff, but like, or gender. But not everybody should have an equal shot at being successful. The opportunities are called opportunities because they're opportunities. But I don't think you should be limited based on your skin pigmentation or if you have a you know, a gina or not. So that's my belief that sounds terrible at first, but once you hear the explanation, you're like, oh, okay. Sounds reasonable. Sounds like, you know, not every schmuck walking around should, you know, see an investment laying on the ground, have an equal opportunity at seeing that. Like, no. Some things you gotta work for, you gotta network, you gotta find stuff, blah, 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 blah. Moving on. So, it's my week off from school. I wanted to work extra so that I could get some extra money to put towards my tuition. Probably gonna have to liquidate part of my savings account. You know? But whatever money I make today in my morning shift is probably going to go towards a new microwave, because this morning, after I heated up some old leftovers, I went to reheat it once more, and I just heard this loud spark in the back. And I was listening to a podcast. I was listening to Bill Burr's podcast while I was doing that. And the spark was loud, even over my earbuds. So I was like, holy shit, like I actually jumped. Probably scared my cat too. So I immediately hit clear and just opened the door. You know, nervous, like, shit, should I be doing any of this? But I was like, I can't let this go on, because like it sparked, but it kept running. So I looked it up, and people keep saying things about like the wave thing, the wave plate, whatever. Or there's certain ways to repair it, but it costs more money. As microwaves are so cheap these days, might as well just buy a new one. There may just be old foods stuck to the back of that. I'm like, fuck that. I am not running that risk. I spent $40 on that. We bought the cheapest microwave, and you better believe it, it's the cheapest, so it shows. It doesn't heat up food nearly as quickly or efficiently as other microwaves I've used. So I will go buy a new one. Even though that was not in my budget, I will go buy a new microwave, because we bought it when we first moved into this apartment, because this apartment did not come with a microwave. And it's cheap. I've had it for like a year now. I think a $40 microwave may have run its course. And, you know, however long this next one lasts, however long we decide to keep it, may as well just get it now and just bite the bullet. Because I don't like buying appliances, because, you know, we get a new place next year or something. What if it's got a microwave in it? It's like, that's, oh great, one less expense that probably wasn't needed. Who needs microwaves anyway? Like the first 2 weeks that we lived here, I think. No, first couple days, week tops. We lived here for a couple days, and we used the oven for everything. We used the oven to heat up leftovers. We used the oven to cook everything. And then finally, like after a couple days of living here, we went out and bought not only a microwave, but also a microwave, a toaster oven. So we got all the things. If you're new to the podcast, this is the first one you're listening to. I just gotta tell you, these things are usually a lot more riveting, you know? little self-analysis here. All right, but let's for the moment you've all been waiting for, let's talk about me seeing my favorite comedian, all-time favorite podcaster, probably favorite comedian, up there with George Carlin, Louis C.K. Bill Burr. I just made it sound like he was going to be on the show with me. Oh, wouldn't that be awesome? He would run that shit too. You watch any video with Bill Burr, he just does not take any bullshit. He'll go on any show, sports show, podcast, anything, and he'll just run it. He'll just Boston the fuck out of it. Like, holy shit. There's no bullshitting with this guy. But it's pretty cool though. It's like it's respectable, you know? But anyway, so I saw him Saturday night. He came to Orlando. I was kind of disappointed that he didn't talk about the shows that much, really at all, on his podcast. You know, but I suppose he's been doing it for such a long time. It may have just been kind of like another weekend to him. I mean, he talked about his Hollywood show, but I guess Orlando didn't really cause enough issues or problems, or nothing really exciting happened. He just went up and did his 2 sets, and bam, done. But anyway, I thoroughly enjoyed the show. So did my girlfriend. And my girlfriend is very, very feminist. Not like that extremist third wave triggered type, but, you know, just feminist. And even she thought he was hysterical. Like, he had everybody rolling. Like, it was amazing. Like, what'd I pay? Paid $100 for 2 tickets. Got excellent seats. Pretty much, it felt like front and center. And I was on the edge. I don't like sitting in the middle, I like sitting on the edge. I think most people do. But he had all this new material. Talked about... Of course, he talked about the population problem again. That's just one of his motifs. One of his themes, you know? But, long story short, it was a great time. And I'm so glad I got to see him. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Was laughing the whole time. I was really excited to see him. Think I may have swooned a little. I was like, oh my god, it's Bill Burr! But I went to the 7 o'clock show. Apparently he didn't have anything set up afterwards for the show. So the way he whores himself out, I don't know if he did that in Orlando, but I didn't get a chance to meet him. Kind of bummed about that, but he went out and put on a great show. Definitely got my money's worth. Definitely an amazing experience. How many times do I got to say this before you get the point? So Bill Burr, thank you for plowing ahead, coming through Orlando. So glad finally got to see you. So, bam. All right. So yeah, it was a good weekend. Mother's Day was successful because I worked from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. My girlfriend took my mom out in my place. It worked out because I still got her some stuff. Still paid for most of the excursion. So, but luckily my lovely girlfriend was available to take her out. But I worked all day. Mother's Day is like one of the busiest days at my bar / restaurant. Reservations for days, and our restaurant doesn't really do that many reservations, so it was kind of a clusterfuck. People that had reservations were still waiting. I mean, god damn it. When people make reservations, they are just adamant. They're like, I made a reservation, so I deserve this. You know, it makes sense to a degree. But I hate generation wars, but it seems like the generation right before me, not the baby boomers, not like, you know, my mom and dad, and not me, the people between us. The people that are currently in their 30s, like mid-30s, early 40s. The people that probably graduated high school in like the 90s and went to college in the late 90s. Like, even though I would have loved to have been that age and that time, I feel like that group right now is probably the worst group. Like, the people, like the working class, I guess. Because people my age, like 24, a lot of them are still struggling, still getting out of college, still fresh. Still, some of us would still be deemed kids. You know? I've got a goatee and sideburns. Granted, some guys already did in high school, but me, I didn't have shit. I didn't get this till I was like 23. I mean, I wasn't able to grow it until I was like 22, 23. But once I quit Disney... Oh, I just revealed where I used to work. I was able to grow it out. Anyway, in my experience, most of the most entitled, impolite people that I've been exposed to have been in the age bracket of like 33 to 45. Just that little generation right there. I guess they're Generation X or something. Whatever generation Fred Durst was singing about in my generation. That age group. Not really the baby boomers. I get plenty of shit from them too. But like, millennials just get way too much shit. Like, I just said that. Millennials just get way too much shit. Millennials really do get too much shit. Like, I quit blaming my parents for shit like years ago. There's things about me where I'm like, oh, I might be like that, or I might exhibit these kind of behaviors because of how I was raised or because of a certain relationship I have with somebody. I might be defensive because I've had to be defensive my whole life because my former stepdad kept me on edge all the time. It was like a psychological mind fuck where everything was a battlefield of minds and eggshells. But to this day, upon living on my own for so long, I take responsibility for my own actions, even if I'm still a millennial. I'm probably an older millennial at the age of 24. But I did grow up as technology advanced exponentially. So we were subjected to not just seeing like technology like peak, but like just the oncoming onslaught of the internet and the unproductivity that just came at us so hard, and especially to the people my age at the time that were so susceptible to being able to pick up the intuitive innovation that was so easy to get addicted to. So I don't want to, play the victim and be like, oh, we were set up for failure. But god damn it, we were the best demographic to hand it to. And now everybody wants to give shit to the millennials. And that fucking viral video, that dumb blonde bimbo, just... I swear, she made that video to get views. She doesn't give a fuck about the generation wars. And she based her whole video off of a simple observation. There wasn't a study done. There wasn't a test or a study or anything like that done. She just saw some rude person that was probably around my age, I guess, not say thank you for holding the door, or not holding the door, period, for somebody. So she felt the need to rant. And if you were offended by it, you should probably check yourself. And I'm like, bitch, you just, ugh. I hate when people inflate stuff over an observation. Like a simple observation. Things typically go much deeper than that. Now, we make observations every day, and we draw judgments all the time. That's normal. A good chunk of it might be justified. But if you're planning on attacking an entire group of people, and no, this isn't some preachy, I'm white, I feel sorry for you because you're black bullshit. This is attacking a group of people based on their generation or their age. And you're attacking your own kind. Yes, there's a lot of shit that people my age do that piss me off. But there's a lot of great things about us. There's also a lot... I sound like Donald Trump. There's a lot of great things about us. We do really cool things. We say words. And the older generation... Actually, I don't even think you can say generation. But no, I know that there's certain things about my parents and grandparents and people like 10 years older than me. There's things that they're missing from their life. There really is no perfect generation. Everybody's missing something. So we just gotta... Excuse me. We just have to all just come together and get along, man. God damn, this took a turn I did not want to. I don't like when things get too ideological. Point is, I think millennials get way too much shit I get pissed off. Excuse me. I get pissed off when I see all these kids walking around with cell phones and stuff. But then I reflect and think that I was just as addicted to my Game Boy. But it's just, I think the cell phones are more toxic. And I think today's kids are going to be worse off and more socially disengaged and blah, 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 blah. But there are also still plenty of kids out there being kids, you know? Kids still go outside and play and do all that stuff. It's not as common as it used to be, and that's sad. We're so goddamn overpopulated. Maybe it's nice if they stay inside for a bit. But I just know that giving your kid a cell phone before the age of 14 is fucking retarded. And giving a baby a cell phone to play an app, that's fucking retarded. Happy Mother's Day. Oh my god. But really though, Lindsay, my former roommate slash mother of a kid who's probably, oh god, I know he's over 2 now. I don't know if he's 3 yet. I miss that kid. He was a cool kid. But no, you're wrong for giving him your cell phone to play with. I know it seems harmless, but while you were addicted to the TV and you needed to give your son a crutch to listen or to play with, you're teaching him how to crane his head forward and fuck up his spine from the day he's a baby. But I miss you and I love you. I know we haven't spoken in a while, but I miss being Uncle Jay. And there's only a handful of people in the world, none of them who are probably listening to this podcast right now, that know what the fuck I'm talking about. Before I lived with my girlfriend, I lived with this guy. He was my roommate, and he had a girlfriend for a while. And that girlfriend had a baby, and she lived with us for a while. So the kid wasn't his. Ugh. But, you know, he still took care of him, and I would still help out every now and then. I really, really loved that kid. He was cool. I liked him. You know, I'd hold him and play with him. And, but yeah. But, you know, the mom, bless her heart, she would give him the cell phone, and I'd be like, what the fuck are you doing? He played with toys and, you know, he did baby stuff too, but I was just like, why are you giving him your phone? You're teaching him how to be a narcissist. Because everybody's so obsessed with having everything validated this day. I see a fucking status yesterday of this guy that's like, oh, I don't usually talk about this kind of stuff, but I talked a guy out of doing suicide yesterday. And, you know, I like to think that altruism exists, but only to a small degree. Because most people want something out of something, you know? So, this guy may have been spreading some suicide awareness, and if he was, that's great. To be talked about. Suicide awareness, please, keep talking about it. There are a lot of people out there that could use a hand, use some help, use a shoulder to cry on. Hey, I'm all for that. But you better believe he was happy when he got all those likes on his status. Oh, God. You know, I come across as so cynical, but I really do know that there's a lot of truth in the bullshit I say. Did that even make sense? So yeah, Mother's Day was successful. Bill Burr concert was successful. That's Saturday and Sunday. Friday, I shift leaded. That is the technical term for my promotion. I still bartend, but I also... fuck it, I'll just say it. I also manage. Because according to my managers, I am technically management on some nights. And on nights where I don't manage, I don't really manage, but I still have that influence. I don't want to say that power, but I still have that clout. So... it's been great. Everything I didn't achieve at my last job, I achieved at my new job way faster and way more effectively. And I'm making more money. But anyway, I'm just saying this, and you've heard me say it before. I'm telling you, if you're unhappy at a place, fucking move on, go somewhere else. A job is just a job. But right now, I'm happy where I'm at. Even if I got to deal with some bullshit a lot, and entitled people, I still have an opportunity to make nights and make good experiences happen. And that's what I did on Friday, and it felt good to do that, knowing that I had the ability to make some people very happy, even if it meant giving them free dessert. It was nice to finally be in charge. So yes, there have been moments while I've supervised or managed or whatever, not on a salary position yet, but I have been promoted to that level, pretty much. I'm trying to be modest about it, but I'm also trying to be honest about it. So, I am technically management, but not fully. Don't have the salary yet, but I do have some of the power, and of course the responsibility. So, it was a legit promotion, and my little card that I swipe to do transactions has manager powers now, and that's really cool. So yeah, Friday night was great. Got to create some good experiences for some guests through managing, and people have been very good to me, very respectful, and I'm just very grateful. I'm very grateful that I've had the opportunity to do that so far. It's only been a couple times that I've done it. I'm doing it every Friday right now, but I know that I'll be doing it a lot more once my managers start taking vacations here and there. I'm going to have to be filling in a lot, so that'll be fun. I'll get to deal with more responsibility and get out of my comfort zone. Initially, I was really nervous to do it. I never thought that I would get it that quickly, or even, ever. I didn't know I was going to stick around that long. But wouldn't you know it, you go through stuff and you get surprised. Holy shit, has it really been 32 minutes already? Man. All right. So, it was a good weekend. NBA playoffs. Oh, my God. So, the Cleveland Cavaliers, are the only team to have consistent sweeps. So, good for them. 2 series sweeps in a row. Haven't seen that in a while. Have we? Was there any of that last year? I don't remember. But even though they're down 3-1, I got to give it up to the Portland Trailblazers. Rip City. They're my girlfriend's team, my father-in-law's team. And I like them too. One of my favorite teams on the West Coast. Or the Western Conference. And they may have lost 3 games against the champions, the Golden State Warriors. But they put up a fight every game. And 2 of those games, especially one in Golden State, looked like they were going to win one. They almost looked like they were going to win last night. But Steph Curry finally made his comeback last night, and he dropped 40 points. So, if the Trailblazers lose this series, which is very, very likely at this point, I'm still going to give them kudos because they put up a much bigger, better fight than the Rockets did. And the Blazers are really proving to be worthy opponents and potential candidates for the championship next time around. And yeah, so what is it now? Spurs, Thunder are tied 2-2. Miami, Toronto are tied 2-2. So it's been a very good playoff run. A lot of game 6s. Looks like there might be some game 7s maybe. So it's been fun. I don't know if there's any speculation compared to last week on how my picks are doing. I didn't know if there were going to be any sweeps. I think I said the Golden State was going to win over the Blazers. But I don't remember if I said it was going to be a sweep or not. I think I may have said it would have gone to 5 or 6 games, and then the Raptors Heat, pretty sure I said that was going to go to 6 games as well. Anyway, speaking of Raptors, how about that Raptor Riot, my new metal band, which is currently frontmanned and basically spearheaded all by me right now. It is a band, but it's only me. But whenever I set up some live shows, I will need some actual musicians to play on stage with me. But how's the EP doing, you ask? Well, I'm having my friend design the back. I should have schematics, pictures or whatever. I should have the design early this week. Today, tomorrow, Thursday, whatever. So that I can finally print out the hard copy of the sleeve. Ugh, God, I cannot talk this week. But my boy should be mixing and mastering it pretty soon. I think last time I spoke to him, which was a few days ago, he said he just needed to finish one more song from his other project and then he was going to start on mine. So I know that my stuff's in the works right now. It's going to be 4 tracks. It's going to be 3 tracks and a cover song. I'm actually still needing to make sure that cover song is legit good to sell. So it may or may not be a bonus track or available for free download somewhere. So if it's not on the hard copy or on iTunes for legal reasons, I'll just put it up for free download somewhere else. But I would like to include it. So this might just be worthless speculation, but pretty much, of course, the cover is designed. I just need the back sleeve finished up with the track listing and everything. And then I can put it in an order for physical distribution through me. Because I don't know if I'll be selling it in stores anywhere, but I might hit up some local record shops and be like, hey, you mind selling these or putting them up at the counter? People can get them for free. I would like to get some word of mouth or something going, knowing that there is a new metal revival of 2K16 going on. Freaking movement that I've been trying to spearhead or at least be a big part of. I think it's been somewhat successful. You know? Got a lot of people talking about new metal again. And in the forums, I am one of the more popular ones. So, it's been good. It's been great. I guess I will end this politics. I guess I will end this podcast on a good note. Talk about politics real quick. So, it is my pleasure to say that you cruise, you lose. I was super happy to find out that Ted Cruz dropped out, and I nearly shat my pants out of excitement. I thought he was the worst. You know how there was a campaign sticker of it saying trusted, and of course Ted is in red. There's another one I saw that said sharded. It said sharded. That one's much better, because I really do think that he's a piece of shit. You know, I might be biased, but no, I don't think people like Barack Obama or Bernie Sanders are pieces of shit. I think they're actually decent men. They're good guys. But people like Ted Cruz, I don't care what kind of religious family man he tries to come across as, he's a piece of shit. He shut down the government. He plays religion way too hard in all of his politics. And he's just a really shitty person. Like, there's a reason. I saw the reason why he has the most punchable face scientifically is because his facial expressions almost never match what he's saying. So how do you know if he could truly be trusted? I'll tell you though, anytime he opens his mouth, it looks like he's sharded. But yeah, so I was delighted. I was the opposite of appalled when I found out that he dropped out, because he lost big in Indiana. And yeah, all these people are complaining about Donald Trump. You know, Donald Trump is just a big joke. You know, I can't even give that guy any more attention. He sucks. But I thought Ted Cruz was the absolute worst, because he's already in a position of power. So to hand him even more would just be a death wish on America. I love that he chose Carly Fiona. Predetermined. He preemptively chose her to be his running mate, and then 3 days later drops out. Waste her time. Hashtag Waste Her Time 2016. Best meme I saw. Also one saying Ted Cruz should have to carry out his election to full term before he even considers aborting it. What a cocksucker. I'm so glad he's out. Fuck you, Ted Cruz. Alright. Like I said, I was going to end it on a high note. And I still will. To all the Bernie Sanders fans out there that are still feeling the burn, You're about to listen to a guy that loves to talk about logic and math and rational, all that stuff. All those things that aren't irrational or spiritual or anything. I love math. I do. So when people say the delegate math favors Hillary and there's no way Bernie can lose, you're wrong. Like, who cares what the odds are? Those numbers, the only numbers that have been determined are the pledged delegates, which Bernie is not far behind at all. Whoever wins California is going to deal a death blow to the other person. And you better believe Bernie packing California with all his rallies beyond whatever Hillary could imagine. Bernie winning California and Oregon, two massive states. Two massive Bernie states. It's gonna be a freaking death blow to Hillary's campaign. And he's got nothing to lose by sticking around in this campaign. And you know what? If Hillary wins and Bernie is the vice president, whatever, that's just like a consolation prize, but okay. But you know what? He still has a shot. He does. And I'm not in denial either. Like, he really does have a shot because people are trying to call this shit too early. They're either scared or they're delusional that Bernie Sanders is an actual contender in this. And I'm tired of this party being so divided and so corrupt and so focused on smearing the other candidate. And I do favor Bernie far more than Hillary. But I don't think Hillary's as bad as people make her out to be. You know, I just think it's intense scrutiny, a lot of fake scandal bullshit. A lot of that same shit they did to Obama. Even though Obama's presidency was scandal-free. He still has a shot. Just wait for California and Oregon. You know? He's sticking it out. He's not pussing out like these other Republican candidates. Even if it looked like Cruz had no clear path to victory. Who the fuck knows? All I know is that I'm still supporting Sanders. I'm supporting him all the way. I still feel the burn. This podcast either attracts or fires up a couple listeners. To anybody listening to this podcast, thank you very much. Once again, my name is JayDennis. I do this every Tuesday. Try to record them in the morning and put them up at the mid-afternoon. See, is there anything else I want to talk about today? Any questions, email them to JayDennis21@gmail.com. That is JayDennis 21@gmail.com. Questions about anything. You want to be on the podcast and you're interested, you want to talk to me. Do I need to invest in a second microphone? Who knows? Or we could just share one together and push our cheeks together. I don't know. It'll pick up both our voices. We'll have a conversation. Talk about anything, really. This podcast is free-flowing. Alright, so the Raptor Riot EP should be out soon. Again, it's on its final legs, just mixing and mastering now. I got another JayDennis song in the works. I will post up an instrumental teaser of that. Yeah, I had another song outside of Raptor Riot. The gym is going good, and I'm just figuring out what the hell I want to do this summer for school because paying out of pocket is not fun, and I don't like the idea of not having any money in the bank. But alright, so I'm JayDennis, and I will talk to you next time. Peace!